Hey everyone, here we are floating through Tokyo.
So magical.
Hello and welcome to the second virtual event covering another side of Tokyo. My name is Jeff and this is Anna from Japan Travel and we'll be your host for the day.
Hello everyone! When we say another side of Tokyo, we are talking about getting out of the city and getting around the greater Tokyo prefecture. Our tour today will focus on the Tama area of Tokyo, around an hour away from the center of Tokyo. Last time, we were coming to you from the island south of Tokyo, but today we have moved west to the mountains on the far side of Tokyo Prefecture.
We arranged this tour in cooperation with Tokyo Prefecture, and as part of the One City, Two Worlds campaign, we are sharing an undiscovered side of Tokyo that we hope you will find interesting, as it's nothing like the typical image of Tokyo.
And we'll be giving away prizes to a few lucky viewers who complete our survey, so stay tuned, and we'll share the link in the chat later in the tour. Feel free to use the chat for any questions or comments as well, and we'll try to answer. Now, let's jump right into it with Luca and our team in Akiruno City. Are you ready, Jeff?
Let's do it!
Okay, Luca, switching over to you.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you, Jeff. That was a great introduction. This is Luca coming to you from Akiruno City, and this is the AKIGAWA Valley. As you can see, it's a beautiful nature, famous for outdoors, such as cycling and hiking. And I can't wait to show you more about it. But before that, we have Davide over to the Temple Cafe not far from here, in company of a local monk for a very special experience.
Thank you, Luca, and hello everybody, and welcome to Hinohara MURA. We're here at Gyokudenji and the Temple Cafe SHU'UN. And I'm joined here with Tsuchiuchi-san, who's gonna show us around the temple grounds, and he's actually a local monk. So thank you so much for
ようこそ日野原村へ
joining. Yeah, he says welcome everybody. All right, so to give you a bit of an introduction about Hinohara MURA, it is a small mountain valley village with about 2,000 residents. And it's famous for its hot springs, its waterfalls, and its beautiful forests, which actually make up more than 90% of the geographical landscape. And there's also a big number of ryokans in the area that they all serve special local meals that are prepared using local ingredients. And we're actually going to go inside one of the most famous ryokans of the area later today. This is called KABUTOYA Ryokan. But first, let's explore Temple Cafe SHU'UN right here. And let me start by introducing you to the tsurigane, which is a big temple bell that is found in Buddhist temples all across Japan. And it used to be to have a specific function. Number one, it was used to summon the monks for prayers, and also it was used to designate specific events, and also as an alert for the surrounding village for things like typhoons, for example. We're not going to ring it today, but it's a beautiful bell, right? And now we're going to go inside the temple cafe. The first thing that you will notice is this beautiful Zen rock garden right here. So the garden is maintained by the local monks every day, who try to keep the patterns intact. You see here the patterns on the ground. They actually represent waves on the sea. And there's also several other elements that are supposed to represent nature in general. And so actually gardens like this, they are created for the purpose of meditation, of respect for nature, and also they are meant to be quite peaceful. In fact, what a lot of people do when they come here is they sit down over tea and snacks and kind of relax and chat for minutes or even hours at a time, which is actually what we're going to do today. Not for hours at a time, don't worry, but we're going to sit down right over there in just a second and enjoy some tea and sweets. Actually, this is the entrance of the Temple Cafe, and the Temple Cafe is actually really popular for its meals, and there's a very unique and delicious lunch set that's made from local vegetables and brown rice, which is supposed to have digestive benefits. And here's a couple of photos of the meals they have. All right, now we're gonna have a sit right over there, but first let's have a look at the menu, so let's go inside. All right, so we have the menu here, and what we're gonna get today is matcha and wagashi, which I'm gonna talk about a bit later. So let's go have a seat now. And we're gonna get the best seat for the optimal view of the garden, which is right here. And we're gonna sit down seiza style, which is basically kneeling down. And so it's something like this. And this is a kind of posture that's usually used in a more formal context, and also in places like this. And it's actually hard for a lot of people to maintain it for a long period of time. So let's see how long I last. And here's our tea and wagashi. ありがとうございます。抹茶と柚子餅。柚子餅。はい。ありがとうございます。All right, yeah. Take a good look at that. It's quite beautiful. And this is the perfect spot to enjoy this. So let's try it. Okay, so like I said, we ordered matcha, which is a green tea that's made from warm water and actually tea leaf powder, and it's whisked with a bamboo tool, which kind of gives it a bit of a creamy texture. It's a little bit bitter, but it has a really smooth taste to it. And here we have wagashi, which is a special sweet that is often paired with matcha, and this particular one is made with yuzu. So let's have a sip of the tea first. Yeah, it's really, really good. And now I'm gonna get a bite of the yuzu mochi. Do it this way. All right. Really, really good. It has a citrusy taste to it, and it goes really well with the matcha. And this is just the perfect place to enjoy this. It is a very, very common experience and a really peaceful atmosphere. And now we wanted to ask a couple of questions to the local monk here. So now here he comes. And so the question number one that we have for him is, what would be your favorite season or time of the year here at Temple Cafe?
5月ですね。
5月。
5月の新緑が青もみじって言うんですけども、はい、新緑もみじが綺麗です。あとこの11月の紅葉したもみじと、はい、春と秋が、はい、いいかと思いますけど。わかりました。はい。ありがとうございます。
Yeah, so his favorite season is autumn, where the momiji is really red and vibrant, and also May, because of the green leaves that are also really, really vibrant. And actually, we have a couple of photos to show you guys of what I'm talking about, so please have a look. And actually, question number 2 that we would like to ask you is, can anybody just come in here and enjoy this?
OK。どなたでも、はい、OK ですよ。はい。
Yeah, anybody can just come here. So, yeah, feel free to come. And the last question we wanted to ask you is there anything else to do here at the temple? Do you offer any other experiences?
座禅ですね。座禅とあと写経と、はい、体験することができます。はい。
Yeah, so there's a couple of experiences you can do, and the first one is zazen meditation, and the second one would be sutra copying, which we're actually going to have a demonstration about in just a moment. But first, please have a look at some of the photos of these two experiences. All right, we're ready for the zazen meditation experience. Let's go.
で、今いっぺん倒れて、はい。手は握ります。手は握る。はい。ぐーっと切る。はい、いいですか。目線はこの辺。はい。お腹に力を入れて、お腹に力を入れてゆっくり呼吸を吐きます。はい。お腹に手を振って、はい、ゆっくり、はい。お腹に力を入れてゆっくり息を吐きます。吐いて吐いて吐き切って、そしたらゆっくり吸います。それは1回です。その1から10まで数えていきます。動いてはいけません。背筋をまっすぐ伸ばして顎を引いて、はい。視線は1メーター下です。はい。それでは最初の1本お願いいたします。 はい。楽にしてください。はい。
Okay, I feel very refreshed and at peace after that meditation experience. Now, that's it from here from Temple Cafe SHU'UN. We're gonna switch over to Luca, who's gonna show us around another beautiful area. So I hope you guys enjoy the next part of the tour, and I'll catch you later.
Thank you, Davide. The wagashi and tea look really delicious. And before we get started with this exploration, I would like to introduce you as well to the survey that is coming on the live chat. By filling this survey, you will really help us getting better for future events, letting us know what you liked, what you didn't, and you also get a chance to win some prizes by filling up the survey. So now we are at the Ishibunebashi Bridge. This is a beautiful bridge in the center of Akiruno Valley, and this place is really something that makes you think, am I still in Tokyo? But yes, we are still in the Tokyo prefecture, and in fact we are only about 1 hour away from the busiest train station of Shinjuku, actually the busiest train station in the world. But you will never tell we are still in the Tokyo prefecture. You can see here the nature. We have here more nature than people. Instead of people, we have some mountains, hills, rivers, great nature. And also we have a lot of different locals who are very dedicated, and we are visiting some of them today. We have, for example, the sake production, we have the shoyu production, and we also will visit some of the silk production places, workshops, and I had the chance to have this visit. Hi everyone, and as you can see, we are in front of a very special place. We are in front of Itoko Momori workshop, where we're gonna discover some amazing things inside. And this visit to Tama, it's all about the different side of Tokyo, isn't it? So I want to show you what also people that are in nature, and by using also all the different elements of nature, what amazing things they can create. And I think this is a great place to see that. So I'm here with Mori-san. Mori-san. Konnichiwa. He's gonna show us the inside, so please come with us. This business has been for over 30 years creating silk threads, but actually the heart of silk threads dates back to the Edo period. So we are talking about hundreds of years in the making. And you're gonna be pretty amazed with what you're about to see. So I'm gonna head over in the workshop. And here we have some machines that date back to the Edo period, but they are still perfectly functioning. As you can see, they are in a very good state. And Mori-san is gonna give us a demonstration of how this works. What they produce here is silk threads, and these silk threads come from the silk moth. And so it comes from nature, and it's mostly made today for health medical supplies. You can see how this is made. The silk threads are very resistant, and at the same time they can be extended, as you can see, for a huge amount of meters. We are about, this is very long, and it goes as I can see. So this is also why this whole workshop is structured this way. And one single silk moth can actually produce 1,200 meters of this silk thread. It's pretty fascinating that this comes from an insect, right? Very small one. And in total, the machine we have seen there has 9 silk moth threads, which account for Hachiman, which is 80,000 meters of silk threads, basically 80 kilometers. It's a huge distance. And these little silk threads, I think you can see in the light. If not, I'm telling you, they are right here. You can imagine how strong they need to be, because they are going all the way to the end of this room, which is, to be honest, I'm not sure exactly, but probably around 30 meters. And now we are going back. this is the last part of the process, and I must say this is really interesting, also considering that these threads are very resistant but at the same time very thin. So now Mori-san is basically grasping the silk from this point, which have been extended to the end of the room, and then it's very skillfully, because this is a tiny thread, is applying on here, fixing it on this next step of the machine. Once this is completed, this machinery will be set in movement, and then it will be automatically creating this thread of silk, which is the kind of thread that we are used to see, for example, on these elastics here that we see here. So it looks like we have all the silk threads now fixed on this machinery from here. So they've been first extended and then put on here, cut with that item there, and then fix here. And now I guess we are going to start the machine. Mori-san is making sure everything is in place, and once the machine starts, we will create a thread. This machine is the only one in existence left in Japan, actually, and it dates back to the Edo period. So you can see here, it goes extremely fast.
ここが動くの分かります？時計と逆方向に回る。
So it spins and it creates a thread.
夜と短くなる、糸が短くなるので、機械が前へ出す。
Ah, okay. So it will get shorter as you keep pulling, and then it will be moving this whole machinery a bit forward to compensate for the shortener of the length of the silk. Whoa, that was very unexpected. It creates air. It's like a fan as well. So it's automatic at this point. And we're gonna slightly moving forward.
でこちらが全部3本ずつになりましたので、向こうも3本ずつにするわけですね。
So now it needs to create 3 threads on the other side as well. So we are going all the way back at the end of the room, which is about 30 meters, by the way. You can see it's pretty extensive. So we have the river right behind us, and we use the water from this river to create also these silk threads.
これで両側3本ずつにしたわけですね。でこれから最後の仕上げのよりに。
So this is the process, and from here we're gonna create the threads that we're gonna show you shortly. Hello everyone, we are still at the Mori workshop, and here I want to show you a little boutique that he has here with all the different products, just to give you an idea of what can be created from this silk thread. You can see we have clothing, everything very elegant as well. We have ties, and everything in the start, it's made by the little sort of nuts or something like a pine as well, I would say. And so from here, and with the combination of the water of the river and with mud, with a high concentration of metal, they create this dyeing color, which the more you do it, the more it becomes tendent to black. So for example, just to give you an idea, this scarf has been going through the process for around 20 times. So it's very close to black, but you can still see that it has a very nice and natural color, tendent to the gray as well. This little tree that you see, it has a lot of different thread of silk in different colors. So not only dark tones, but also very bright ones. So this is basically a pine which has been created in a sort of Christmas style. Here are some also decorations. This is made, you see some bags, and they have some little cranes here, and this one is made in a shape of a crane as well. The tsuru, Japanese red crown crane that you found today in Hokkaido, is actually an endangered species, and the neck is made of silk threads as well. This business has been doing this for over 80 years, so it's a very long, beautiful art which has been passed by generation to generation, and Mori-san today is very dedicated into keeping this alive. So I hope you enjoy also and get an idea of all these different products that you can find here, and I hope you enjoy the whole process of visiting today the Mori workshop and how the silk thread are made here.
このまま中へ入れる。
So now we're gonna put this into the water, which is about 50 degrees hot.
はい、ちょっと熱いよ。
It's a bit hot, but I will withstand the heat. And we basically make sure they are well exposed to the
で上に上げて、
dyeing, then bringing it up and squeezing it. It's important that the air gets through, is exposed. So yeah, we need to feed the air basically
お上
to the
手。
thread.
上手。
Apparently I'm doing a good job.
また中入れる。
And now again we put it inside.
また軽く
Move it around,
動かして絞って
squeeze.
また空気に洗わ
So
せ
this is pretty much the routine, and it has been done a few times. Bit of spreading it for the air and then back in. You can see that the silk thread, it's very smooth, and this process, it really creates a nice color. Everything in here is natural, so it has very good feeling to the touch, and the color I really like as well. So yeah, this is done in this way. You can see the water has this kind of bronze color in it. Pretty much this is the process. Just one more exposed to the air, all the steam out, put it back in, and this is the first process for the dyeing. So continuing the process we were going through earlier, now we got mud which has to be rich in iron, and this iron rich mud will basically be filtered through with the oil water, and then we will get this moisture of mud, which is the basic of mud coloration basically. And what we need to do is to mix, to break down the pieces. This is quite of a dirty job, and it requires quite some strength, but at the end of it we will get this. You can see here the mud, and you cannot see that it's rich in iron, but actually Mori-san was telling us that you can tell by looking at some blue bits that should be found inside these stones. Of course now impossible to see, but that's how you can tell this is heavy in iron. And once we break down all this, we will be able to use this for dyeing. And of course after this we will be washed into the river, and then we will have our final product basically. So this is the substance that you need to obtain in order to start coloring, and it will be used to coloring our silk neck warmers that we got earlier. You can see that the color is really of the dark brown side, but once it comes out it turns kind of gray, and depending on the number of times you do this, the color will get darker and darker until you reach tones which are very close to black.
そこの
すいません、見えなかった。
中へさっとつけて。
So now we plunge it in, get all that substance we have seen earlier, get it nice and dirty, and then pull it out, squeeze the water, and get the air to do its job. and repeat the process.
漬け込んでちょっと時間を置きます。
Hi. So we leave it here for a bit. Hello everyone, we are back with Mori-san and we are right next to the water and we are going to start to wash our neck warmer that we already dyed with the mud as you've seen earlier. And this is a process that is done very naturally by using the natural resources. In fact, this river, it's only about 100 meters away from the workshop where we were earlier, and this really shows us how much the nature is important and everything rotates around here, that in this area. Also, I wanted to say that this whole process of mud dyeing has been going on for generations, and Mori-san is one of the special artisans of the area. There is actually 1 out of 10 people only that is considered as the master of the specific art. So he is the master of the art of mudding, that's how it's called. And this is done mostly for fabrics, and it used to be very special color for kimono. And he was telling us earlier that in the Edo period, especially among geishas as well, this would be a very fashionable color. It's a color that comes from the mud, so it has very basic and very basic provenance, but at the same time it can be very, very elegant. So we're gonna get now started and we're gonna see how this is done. Mori-san, お願いします。
じゃあ洗いましょう。
You can see the colors are quite
どこでもいい
beautiful.
ですよ。
はい。
洗いやすいところで靴濡らさない。あ、その石あたりがいいかもしれない。
Okay.
ここ乗っけて。
はい。So I'm gonna stop next to the river,
Okay.
try not to get into the river, and it's going to wash.
じゃあバケツはもらおう。
はい、ありがとうございます。Mori-san is just washing the bucket, and I will be cleaning the neck warmer from the mud in excess. It's really clear that the mud is leaving the river into the river, going back where it came from pretty much. And I'm going to squeeze as well. And you can clearly see that the water that comes out, it's still not clear. So there is all the mud that is in excess, that is flowing out. And it's really special to do it right next to these natural resources. Yeah, you can see still mud coming out. And then we do the same movement we were doing earlier with the air, getting all the water out and then back into the river. So we finished our washing process and now we have this final product, which is this neck warmer. Has this beautiful shade of gray, which has been of course spaced by the mud coloring. And Mori-san was telling me that this needs to be dried up in the shade, so do not dry under the sun, so to preserve the color. And moreover, you don't have to clip it like this, but it needs to be put over a stick or something that it doesn't alter its natural shape. And actually Mori-san is wearing one at the moment at his neck. You can see how it's gonna look. I cannot describe you exactly, of course, the feeling of touching, but it is a very silky and smooth feeling. And this one is very easy to adapt as well to your skin, so it doesn't hurt at all. It's a very great piece, and I hope you guys enjoyed the whole process from the beginning, how the threads are made, into the coloring. And this is pretty much all for us. Thank you very much from me and Mori-san, and I hope you enjoyed the whole process. Bye, see you next time.
As you can see, we're standing in front of a very traditional looking building, which is one of the most famous ryokans of the area, and that would be the KABUTOYA ryokan. So the style of this house is called Gassho Zukuri, And as you can see, it has a very steep thatched roof. And the design itself is supposed to resemble a kabuto, which is a warrior's helmet. And the house itself, the design of the house, this style of houses, dates back to more than 400 years. So it's really old. And one last thing about it that's really fascinating is that in the past, these houses were very convenient because they were designed to keep the house cool during the summer and very warm during the winter. So let's go have a look inside. We actually have the master of the ryokan with us today who's going to show us around KABUTOYA ryokan, Okabe-san. Okabe-san, thank you so much.
いらっしゃいませ。
お願いします。
どうぞ。
All right, we're finally inside at KABUTOYA ryokan, where, by the way, the emperor himself, he visited here a couple of times. Now we're gonna go, Okabe-san is gonna show us to some of the best rooms they have. So let's go. お願いします。
いらっしゃいませ。それでは奥へどうぞ。
And while we head there, we want to ask Okabe-san a couple of questions. So let's start with question number 1, which would be, Okabe-san, what kind of rooms do you have here at KABUTOYA ryokan?
はい、こちらの部屋は特別なお部屋なんですけれども、お部屋に森の見えるお風呂がございます。あとお布団を敷いてお休みいただくお部屋と、いろりのあるお部屋の二間続きになっております。
わかりました。Yeah, so this one in particular is a special kind of room with really good views. And so let's go have a look inside. Besides this room, by the way, they have other rooms with different sort of styles, some of which are actually as old as 300 years. So this is a very fascinating and old ryokan. Like I said, the emperor himself visited here, so it must be pretty good. Okay, yeah, and actually another question that I would like to ask her is about the baths that they have. So Okabe-san, are there any hot baths here at KABUTOYA ryokan?
はい、こちらのお部屋は、このお部屋専用のお風呂がこちらにあるんですが、あとは皆様で入っていただきます川の見えるお風呂があちらの下の方にございます。はい、
わかりました。Yeah, so they have different kinds of baths. First of all, they also have Western style bathrooms. And then they have special, well, the common hot baths, typical of ryokans, from where you can actually get a great view of the river. And now, one last question, and we're actually going to move to the other room before we do that, which is a very special kind of room. So let's go there.
ではそちらのいろりの部屋へどうぞ。
This is a very special room, very, very cozy. And since we're here, we can see this fireplace. We're going to talk about food a little bit. Okabe-san, what kind of food do you offer at KABUTOYA ryokan?
はい、山菜料理を召し上がっていただきます。で、こちらの方に炭を入れまして、周りにヤマメを立てて、あと牛肉、鶏肉、新鮮なお野菜を焼いて召し上がっていただきます。わかりました。
ありがとうございます。Yeah, so in general, they have sansai ryori, which is a special kind of cuisine that involves local mountain products. And for example, here at this fireplace, they often grill things like yamame, which is a special kind of local fish, and that's also known as the queen of river. And then they also offer pork, beef, and boar hot pot, for example. So they have really, really good stuff. And of course, then also locally grown vegetables. And speaking of food, actually, now we're going to move to the dining room, the common dining room, and we're going to try some of their dishes. So follow me. お願いします。All right, time to try some of the local food. So let's go. Okabe-san, お願いします。
それではこちらへどうぞ。 どうぞごゆっくりお召し上がりください。
ありがとうございます。All right, we have a lot of stuff here. So like I said, this is Sansai Ryori, which as we talked about earlier, it's made from local products. And we have a lot of stuff here. We have the famous yamame that we mentioned, the queen of river fish right here, and then a bunch of vegetables that are locally sourced. And also we have a very popular local sake. It's called kisho. So let's give that a try first. Kanpai. Cheers. Yeah, really good. Pretty strong, but very, very smooth. So after that, I am gonna try some of their miso soup. Itadakimasu. Wow. Yeah, so Sansai Ryori is supposed to have very, very fresh ingredients, and all of these are really, really fresh. So while I work on all of these dishes, I just wanted to thank you guys for sticking with us so far. That's it from KABUTOYA RYOKAN, and we're gonna switch over to Luca one last time. So thanks again, and enjoy the rest of the tour. Itadakimasu.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Davide and Okabe-san, her husband, for this beautiful showcase of the KABUTOYA RYOKAN in Hinohara, MURA. Actually, a few years ago, I had the chance of staying there, and I really enjoyed my stay, and I'm sure you guys enjoy what you've seen so far. I am now in front of the URAYAMA base, very close to the Musashi Itsukaishi station, actually only a few meters away. And this, it's a very convenient spot for all those people coming from Tokyo. I remind you, it only takes about 1 hour to get here from Tokyo or from Shinjuku station. And right here, you have all you need to know to start your exploration of the area. You have rental bikes, as you can see. We also have electric bikes. These are very good to get around the area. You also have services, you have a rental of different equipment, and here you can also create your tailor-made experience. For example, you can have focus on nature, and you have kids that can take picture into the forest, and then have storytelling as well. But this is not only limited to kids, families, also people that just love nature, solo travelers, they can find here what they're looking for. Before I go inside, also want to show you coming up footage of me on the bike that was taken yesterday, and you will see how beautiful is the scenery around here. And I'm gonna have a discussion with the owner inside, so you're gonna learn a lot more about Urayama base and everything to do nature related in this area. So please stay with me. I'm gonna step in. Konnichiwa. Hello everyone, and we are back inside the Tokyo Urayama base. I'm here with Michiko-san and Jinken-san, the owner of the place, and they are being so kind in hosting me today in here. And as we were saying outside, there is a lot of things to do in this area, but I'm sure they know much more than I do. So I'm gonna just ask you, just give us an introduction about yourself. What you do in this area, please.
はい、はじめまして、人権と申します。
みちこと申します。
はい、夫婦で、この東京ウラムベースとそれからこの地域の、案内をいろいろとやったりしています。このお店は、JR 武蔵五日市駅のすぐ目の前にあって、すごく便利な、ところにありまして、この地域で遊ぶためのいろんな情報をこちらで、マップだったりとかいろいろガイド情報を、皆さんに提供しているそんなお店です。中にカフェがあったり荷物を預かりしたり、シャワーがあったり、あとはね見えてる通りレンタサイクルとかアウトドアグッズのレンタルなんかもやってます。
So yeah, introduce himself, of course, and his wife. He also mentioned that we are in very close proximity to the Musashi Tsukaishi station. So this is a very great location to start your adventures here. And they have a whole array of services, a 360-degree, basically, service provider. We have the bikes, you can see right here. We have hammock, even this red one you can see up here for rental. Plus they have luggage storage if you want to leave your heavy stuff when you go for hiking. And they also have showers. Plus I was hearing before talking that you guys are planning as well new activities for the future and also maybe renewal, right?
Yeah. このお店は実は5年ぐらいやってるんですけど、コロナの影響もあって、少し、カフェをお休みしたりとか今してるんですけど、これから、新しい形で、この地域の情報を、こちらで、いろいろとお伝えして、ここから遊びに行く拠点として、リニューアルして、例えばカフェとかもテイクアウトだったりとか、そういうところにね力を入れて、リニューアルして、やっていこうと思います。
あとこういう手軽な地域のスポットを巡れるような、モバイルガイドみたいなのも用意したり、アウトドアに慣れてる人が荷物を置いてさっと走りに行ったり運動したりして帰ってきてシャワー浴びるだけじゃなくて、ちょっとした家族連れとかこの辺のこと何もわからないんだけど何したらいいですかっていうような人でも楽しめるようなコンテンツを用意してます。
So yeah, they have a whole array of different things in the making. And before Corona, they started their business about 5 years ago. Before Corona, they had this area also with a cafe, and also they had some tables for some food. But they temporarily stopped that because of the, of course, decrease in tourists. But they are planning to restore how the shop looked like before. And so they're going to have a whole new array of services coming up. Plus, Michiko-san was explaining that they have also a phone app, which is very interactive. It can provide you support for when you explore the area here around the Akiruno Valley and Hinohara MURA. And you could see as well the whole place has whole different QR code with this poster. So everything is very interactive, but at the same time allows you to blend with nature, to enjoy nature. And it's really family focused, but it's actually for everybody, from kids to elderly that like the outdoors and just hiking. Related to this, what do you think are the best, what would you recommend for somebody coming for the first time here? What is the best to do and see here?
そうね、いろいろあるんですけど、この秋川渓谷もその四季のね、春夏秋冬いろんな風景が楽しめるので、その季節に合ったアクティビティだったり、楽しみ方っていうのをこちらの東京ランベースで、お伝えします。例えば春だったらすごく桜が綺麗なハイキングルートだったりとか、しかも都心のお花見スポット人がたくさんいるけど、こっちはもう人が少なくて本当のびのびと自然を楽しめる。で夏はリバートレッキングだったりとか、あとは川下り、like a rafting, small コンチューだったりとか、 まあその季節に合わせてねいろいろできるんですけど、特に駅前すぐなので、ここでレンタサイクル借りて走ると、いい場所が結構離れてたりするので、そこをこう自転車で順番にこう巡りながら楽しむっていうのがすごくおすすめかなと。
So there are a whole different array of activities. He didn't know where to start basically from. But basically every season has its own highlights. In the spring we have a lot of different cherry blossom spots, which looks very natural. Actually a few years ago I was lucky enough to be here during the cherry blossom period, and I really remember that there are beautiful unspoiled places where you can go biking or even walking to have a look at it. In the summer, there are a lot of river activities, and the water here is very clear. It's pristine, coming directly from the national park nearby. And they have river sort of rafting and also other water-related activities. Besides that, there is a lot to do. We have a lot of historical spots. We have some castles on the hills, ruins of castles that used to be here in the medieval period of Japan. So really there is so much to discover in this area, and I hope you guys can come one day and have a look at it. Pretty much this is all for me and from Jinken-san and Michiko-san today. Thank you very much, arigatou gozaimasu, for the support and providing all this information. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Luca. That cycling looks so fun.
It did.
Yeah. Did everyone have fun today? Well, we hope you did, and we want to give a special thanks to the kind locals who supported us from Hinohara MURA and Akiruno City today.
Yes, thank you guys. And remember to check out the official websites covering the Tama region of Tokyo. We all strongly recommend this area for anyone who wants to refresh and connect with nature or a friendly local community.
Yeah, I really want to go there someday. And we'll be having more tours in the near future, so stay tuned to Japan Travel YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for announcements of future virtual events. And if you enjoyed our tour today or have some advice, please let us know in the survey so we can continue to improve. Completing the survey will enter you into our contest, and we'll notify our winners by next week.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank all of you for supporting the Tokyo Tama region, and we hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye from Anna, Davide, Luca, and myself. Thank you for joining, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. ありがとうございました。
Bye-bye.
Bye.